Now, once again, Raymond Arroyo.
Welcome back to The World Over Live. It has been understood both in the civil and canon law that the seal of confession cannot be broken by a priest. But there was a time when, due to a court case, my next guest was to reveal what he'd learned in the confessional. He and the diocese of Baton Rouge fought back, and this week a new ruling was handed down. To discuss it all is Father Jeff BEYHE from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Father, thanks for being with us.
Raymond, good to see you. Good to be with you.
Now, Father BEYHE, how was it that you were almost compelled by the state of Louisiana to violate the seal of confession?
Well, Raymond, it's I hope you understand that the ruling that we just received was a win, and it was a win for religious liberties, but it was very limited. We've still got issues we need to deal with. You know, in the allegations which came about in 2009, there is an allegation that a young girl said she came to confession and said that she revealed some inappropriate behavior with an adult parishioner. And the lawsuit says I had a duty to leave the confession and report that to the police. That's one of the things that we've been fighting in this. That obviously, it was interesting the other day in court, my attorney asked me, he said, what did they teach you about the seal of confession in the seminary? I said, Don, I didn't learn about the seal of confession in the seminary. I learned about that in second grade when Sister Teresa told me we were going to confession. And no one, we knew that. We knew that all of our lives. And certainly as a priest, we've all known that. And I think every Catholic in the world would recognize that they recognize that fact. And that's the very nature and the essence of the seal of confession, that it's between the penitent, the priest, and the ears and the heart of God. They
were going to compel you to break the seal, and you really had to fight it. It went to the Supreme Court of Louisiana, back down to this lower court. And tell us about the ruling this week. It's limited, though. It's very narrow, correct?
All right. Yeah, it is. And again, Judge Caldwell did a great job. We appreciate the fact that religious liberties were protected in the sense that he said, according to the Louisiana State Code, Article 609A1, in this position, the way the opposition were interpreting it, they made me, they thought I was a mandated reporter, you know, based on this Article 609A1. And the judge interpreted it differently. But now we still live under a ruling from the Louisiana Supreme Court that says it's up to the judge in civil court in Baton Rouge to convene a jury trial and let a jury decide what can and cannot be considered a confession. Well, when that ruling came down, Raymond, we went, wait a minute.
Yeah.
That's unconstitutional. You know, we establish a constitution on freedom of religion when we allow a 12-person jury to, I mean, tell us anything, because who's going to be on the jury? Doesn't matter. We don't recognize a civil court as defined in doctrine for the Catholic Church. And no person of faith should recognize a civil court if we have freedom of religion. And one of the important things is, and I talk about this in terms of religious liberties, because, Raymond, I don't see myself as a target. I see myself as collateral damage, okay? I think people of faith need to be aware of the fact that if the seal of confession is not upheld throughout and made law of the land, then any person of faith who goes to their pastor would have to Mirandize them and say, no, look, before you tell me your deep, darkest secrets, you need to know that anything you can say can and will be used against you in a court of law. And any pastor, I don't care what religion you are, the civil law calls it sacred communication, they'll be compelled to reveal that in a court of law or suffer the consequences. And so those issues are not yet resolved. We're very glad that the interpretation for this very narrow scope was in favor of the seal of confession, but we have a ways to go, and it's a great challenge. You know, Raymond, I think it's no surprise to you Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, no, well, you have been. I mean, the good news here is the court has delivered you from this onerous burden where they were going to force you, compel you to open up the seal, and that would have had an impact on priests throughout the state of Louisiana, and then one would imagine that this might have been moved to other states. So it's a good thing that it's fixed, but this is not a comprehensive ruling. It's not a national ruling by any means.
Well, first of all, it's not even a state ruling, Raymond. It's a local civil court judge. And if the seal of confession is not upheld in the United States, the home of the brave, the land of the free, then it has a universal effect on the church.
Right.
It absolutely does, and has a universal effect on all religions. And obviously, I'm not a lawyer, but I don't know about the finality of this decision. This is in no way comprehensive, and now the seal is forever protected. I don't think that's what our ruling means. He simply, in this motion, did not interpret it the way the opposition did. And what is yet to come for that still has not completely freed the seal of confession, nor the state's interference in religious liberties and defining our own beliefs and doctrine.